My name is Jesper AUC consultant at ITQ.
Hi, my name is Remi Schipperus. I'm a digital workspace solution engineer at VMware.
And welcome to this IT Classroom video. This is part 2 in our series about mobile threat defense and the initial setup of it. In our previous video, we did the initial configuration and went over the steps needed to end up with a protected device. So we'll go on just beyond where we ended the last video. We have our secured device, which currently isn't secure anymore.
Nope.
And we'll focus on how to do things with this unsecured device, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the cool things we can do is with Lookout we can show it and we can see what's wrong with this device.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's multiple things we can show, such as man-in-the-middle attacks. We can see if the device is jailbroken, rooted, and all the good stuff. What we did now is we installed an application which is unsigned. Means that it's an application that nobody knows really what kind of application it is. Nobody said this is a good application.
And it didn't come from the Apple App Store in this case, right?
It also didn't come from the App Store, the Apple App Store.
Which typically means bad news.
Yeah. Obviously, there are ways to install applications outside of the App Store, also with UEM. But this, we downloaded a random app, which is not good.
Okay.
Also, if you look in the documentation, there is ways to download those applications to test. So if you want to test this environment, you want to see what's going on, there's a couple of applications you can download for man-in-the-middle, for an unsigned app, and that stuff. So we can see we have an unsigned app, which is the ERPAG app. I have no clue what it does, no clue what it is. The only thing I know is the first time I opened it up, it asked me for my location. So I don't think that's good. But in the Intelligence Hub, we can now see my device is at risk.
Yeah.
Why is it at risk? It's good to know. When we click on the notification, we can see there's a device, one threat, and there's a medium risk. In this case, we only see it as a medium risk, which is a non-app store signer, meaning the application does not come from an app store and is not signed. We can show multiple things. We can say on what device it is. We can see what the issue type is. So if it's a man-in-the-middle attack or another something. Sometimes, especially if you're not very familiar with IT or equipment or electronics, you're, I don't know, someone who sits in the front desk. You have an iPhone that's enrolled. You just use it. You have no clue what's really happening on the background, but you only see the notification and you say, all right, I see an app. That's probably not good. Remove this app immediately.
I think that helps because the message is clear. You can't really go around beyond the big warning sign, and there's an immediate way to remediate it as well, just from an employee point of view. Yeah,
and usually people know how to remove an app. If not, they can always contact IT, obviously, or they can have IT remove it for them. So in this case, my device has a threat on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the application and delete the app. And one of the good things that I didn't mention yet is we can see we have less applications now on this device, because what we did on the back end as an IT department, we made sure that if a device has a threat on it or if something is wrong, we can unassign applications, we can put the device into quarantine, we can add a tag, we can do a lot of cool stuff with it. In this case, we said we are not deploying applications such as Chrome to the device unless the device is safe.
Yeah, so basically any corporate data only accessible from a corporate secure device. Yeah,
and you can make it as fancy as you want and as cool as you want, but in this case we did one quite easy thing. And you can see the notification is gone, the device is now safe. The device is now safe. Device level, everything is safe again, so we're good to go.
Green is good.
Green is good. What we can then do is, because it's a demo environment, I'm going to force the sync. But normally you just remove the app and it will sync eventually, but it might take a little bit longer than for the demo is good. And what we can also do is we can send notifications to the device outside of the notification we just saw earlier. So in the For You tab we can say, hey, apps are deleted while being uncompliant, please check compliancy. We can create as fancy as possible.
Yeah. And using those notifications, you can just improve the employee experience, because if you look at the typical user, a big red warning sign typically means
something bad.
Help me.
Yeah.
But if you can simplify the experience by using notifications, by giving employees the opportunity to remediate those things themselves, it makes their experience better. It reduces strain on IT departments.
Yeah.
And it also gives an employee a sense of security.
Yeah.
Because they know, okay, what we're doing is we're being secure, and we're actively involved in that process as well.
Yeah, and also a sense of control for them. So it's not IT who is configuring or managing them. It's they have the ability to control their own device, especially if it's bring your own device, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, this is a bring your own device. So if it were to be a device that was given by my work, we would not get this notification that an app is going to be installed, because this device will be supervised. Yeah. This case is not the case, so we get notifications.
Yeah, and perhaps good to add that this is a bring your own device. Your personal apps, I see the Twitter app on it, that just remain. With just the corporate apps with access to corporate data, those were removed. Your personal apps were untouched, nothing to be seen there. Yeah,
and we can also see that, for instance, Salesforce is still there, the hub is still there, but we can take out the single sign-on certificate. Yeah. For instance, so if you want to sign in, that's fine, but then not single sign in anymore.
No, you require step-up authentication with MFA or whatever solution you have implemented.
And then you can also control if you can actually log into that application based on the tags you have.
Yeah.
So in this case, I click on the install button. You see that the OneDrive is being installed again, Chrome is installed again, and the tunnel. And tunnel is then used for your per app VPN to use with other stuff. So in this case, we've shown that the device is not secure. It will take out the applications, because we can also reverse it, install the application, and we'll go the other way. And then when we resolve that issue, applications are being installed again, and you can go back to how you want it to be. Yeah. So that's from an end user perspective. So we haven't seen the console yet now from how we configured it.
No, exactly.
So that's one thing we're going to show now. So if we go to our devices and we go to our list view, we can see the list view of all the devices I have. Yeah. And you can see this iPad dedicated. It's dedicated to a demo environment, not dedicated to have supervision. And if we scroll down, we can see that now also the tags are MTD activated and MTD secured. That means that MTD is working on a device. It's installed either through the Lookout for Work app or the Intelligent Hub, and it's also secure. So there's no issues found on the device. If I were to install an application again, or if I were to be in a situation where the device is bad again, those tags will also show up in the console.
Yeah, so the first one, the MTD activated or active, that should always be present.
Yeah.
To have control on the device. The second tag, or perhaps multiple tags, are just a reflection of the secure state of the device.
Yeah, because there's usually 3 tags when the device is insecure. That means, or the first tag is also MTD is activated, because it's on there. Yeah. The second one is MTD unsecure. That means there is something wrong with that device, but we don't know what. And the third thing is what kind of level it is. Is it a low-level threat that's to be found, a high-level threat, or something else? Yeah. And based on yeah. And yeah, we can let UEM decide what to do. We can let IT decide what to do. And we can take it from multiple points. So we can say, if a device is unsecure, no corporate apps. If there's only a low-level security issue found, then we take out single sign-on. That's up to the IT department or up to a partner like yours to help an organization to figure out what's best for that organization.
Yeah, each organization has their own model in relation to that, and you see the same with access policies in Workspace ONE Access. Yeah. Organizations typically have some applications which they consider their crown jewels, right? It's their most critical application. With any threat, you probably prohibit access to that, but something more low-hanging fruit, it's okay unless you have a critical threat. Then you just want to revoke all access. And
yeah, exactly. So one of the things I did is I removed tunnel, which gets you into the data center of your organization usually with a VPN, and that's what we want to kill. So we don't want to have that. So we delete the application, we delete the configuration file, and that's how I did it. But it depends on It depends.
That depends for every customer, and I think that's one of the most important and most interesting things of assignments like this that you.
Yeah. So what I've done now, or what I'm showing now, is we have applications, and if we go to the iOS apps, we go to the purchased part because those come from the App Store. We can click on one of those applications. We can called Chrome, and we have attached a smart group in this case to it. So we say all secure devices will have this application, which reversely will also say all unsecure devices won't have this.
Yep.
And that's one of the things you can do. So in this case, we use a smart group secure devices. You can also use a smart group all devices and then make an exclusion. You can do it based on the tags you have, but it just depends on how you want to configure it.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you want to see?
I think it could be interesting if we could just show how the exclusions work. Most customers I visit know that how to create a smart group and how to include things, but perhaps the exclusion part or the combination of both of those elements could be interesting.
Yeah. So one of the things we can do is we can use tags, we can use smart groups. In this case, I'm going to look at the profiles we have for our device, which is, for instance, a VPN profile or any other configuration you might have. We can look now in the SASE cert. So we also have integrated SASE on this iPad.
Yeah.
And this certificate can be deployed to all devices, which it has now.
Yeah.
And then what we can do is we create an exclusion. So we basically just click yes here, and we type an exclusion. And this way we can click all unsecure devices, and that means that all the devices get the certificate, unless it's not secured.
Yeah.
And you can also do it in a reverse way.
Yeah.
Where you type a restriction profile to a device if it's unsecure,
yeah,
and make an exclusion on secured.
And this also opens up the opportunity to a model that we just described, right? With the multiple layers of threats and how you want to address those.
Yeah. So for instance, now I'm only pulling away a certification, but I can also pull the device. So we can say there's only literally one app that is showing, which is the Intelligent Hub app or your home screen. You cannot access anything unless you do this, or unless you fix the issue.
Yeah.
And that's what we mean. We can go as granular as we want to. We can make it as restricted as possible if you want. But for the demo purposes, it's easy to show just pulling away a certification or not pushing an application to a device.
Yeah.
But in this way, you can assign the certificate to a smart group and then make an exclusion on the unsecured device group.
Makes sense.
Anything else?
I think we've covered it, right?
Yeah, it's up to the customer or to the partner to help the customer to implement this. But you can see you can do it on multiple ways. But it is very easy. You can see in our first video how we implemented it, and now you can see what the outcome is of it. And it's actually quite easy to implement. Of course, the technology behind it is way more difficult than we've just shown, but it shows you how easy it is to implement, which is very good.
And also, if you just want to go for the low-hanging fruits, we've shown in this video series how easy it is to set it up. You can start off with an easy model for perhaps a particular use case and add that complexity as you grow. But you can start off secure and go as you implement more use cases or roll out to more devices. So I think that's very interesting.
Exactly.
Okay. Thanks, Remi, for this video series.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for watching. This concludes our IT Classroom video series about mobile threat defense. If you'd like this video, please like and subscribe, and see you at the next video.